The exhaustion. You're tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. Not the kind of tired that a vacation cures. You're tired of caring too much. Caring what people think. Caring how you're perceived. Caring if you're liked. Caring if you're enough. You've bent yourself into shapes that don't even feel human anymore. Smiling when you don't mean it. Explaining yourself when you don't owe an explanation. Holding your tongue while resentment piles up like unpaid debt. And the worst part? The people you're trying so hard for aren't even thinking about you. So let's talk about something nobody teaches you. Something that feels wrong to say out loud. You care too much. And it's ruining your life. Part 1. Why you give a fuck in the first place. You weren't born like this. You weren't born worried about being judged. You weren't born apologizing for existing. You weren't born afraid of disappointing everyone. That was installed. Conditioned into you. Every time you were praised for being good. Every time you were punished for being honest. Every time you were told to behave, to fit in, to not make waves. You learned something dangerous, that your survival depends on approval. So you adapted. You learned to read rooms. You learned to anticipate reactions. You learned to silence parts of yourself before anyone else could. And it worked. At first, people liked you. You avoided conflict. You stayed safe. But safety has a price. And that price is your spine. Part 2. The invisible prison. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. Giving a fuck feels like control. If you care enough, if you think enough, if you plan enough, maybe you won't get rejected. Maybe you won't get hurt. Maybe you won't be abandoned. But that's an illusion. Because the more you care, the more fragile you become. One comment ruins your mood. One look makes you spiral. One opinion from someone irrelevant keeps you awake at night. You're not living, you're managing perceptions. And slowly, quietly, that turns into resentment. You start hating people for expectations they never asked you to meet. You start hating yourself for not being brave enough to disappoint them. This is what nobody tells you. Caring too much doesn't make you kind. It makes you compliant. Part 3. Most people are not thinking about you. Let this sink in. Nobody is watching you as closely as you think. Everyone is trapped in their own head, their own insecurities, their own problems. That thing you said that keeps replaying in your mind, they forgot it. That mistake you're ashamed of, they barely noticed. That fear of being judged, it's projection. You're judging yourself, and assuming everyone else is too. But here's the darker truth. Even when people do judge you, it doesn't matter. Because their judgment says more about them than it ever will about you. And sacrificing your life to avoid imaginary criticism is one of the saddest ways to exist. Part 4. Stop explaining yourself. You don't need to be understood by everyone. Read that again. You do not need universal approval. You do not need to justify your decisions. You do not need to explain your boundaries. Every explanation is a negotiation. Every justification is an invitation for debate. And the more you explain, the weaker you sound, the more uncertain you appear, the more power you give away. Strong people don't over-explain, not because they're arrogant, but because they're grounded. They've accepted something you haven't yet. Not everyone will like you, and that's fine. Part 5. The cost of giving a fartke. Let's talk about what caring too much has already taken from you. Opportunities you didn't pursue. Words you swallowed. Boundaries you never set. Relationships that drained you. Jobs that hollowed you out. Versions of yourself you abandoned to stay acceptable. How many times have you said yes? When every cell in your body screamed no? How many times have you stayed quiet? Just to keep the peace. Peace at the cost of yourself is not peace. It's self-betrayal. And every time you betray yourself, you teach the world that your needs come last. Part 6. Stop trying to be liked. Here's a hard pill to swallow. If you want to be liked by everyone, you will be respected by no one. People don't respect people who bend. They respect people who stand. Not loudly, not aggressively, but firmly. When you stop chasing approval, something strange happens. The right people stay, the wrong people disappear. And for the first time, you can breathe, because authenticity filters your life. And yes, some people will walk away. Let them. They were never aligned with you to begin with. Part 7. Apathy versus freedom. This isn't about becoming cold, or heartless, or numb. Stop giving a fuck doesn't mean stop caring about anything. It means stop caring about the wrong things. Stop caring about opinions that don't pay your bills. Stop caring about people who wouldn't show up for you. Stop caring about fitting into places that reject your nature. Save your energy. Care deeply about your values, your growth, your integrity, your purpose. Be selective, because your attention is currency, and you've been spending it on people who never deserved it. Part 8. Disappointing people is part of growing. Here's a truth that will set you free. You will disappoint people no matter what. If you say yes, you disappoint yourself. If you say no, you disappoint them. So choose wisely. Disappointing others is uncomfortable. Disappointing yourself is destructive. Growth requires friction. Boundaries require discomfort. Freedom requires courage. And courage doesn't feel heroic. It feels lonely at first. But that loneliness, that's the sound of you coming home to yourself. Part 9. You don't need permission. Nobody is coming to approve your life. There will be no moment where everyone nods and says, yes, now you're allowed. If you're waiting for permission, you'll wait forever. Do the thing anyway. Say the truth anyway. Leave anyway. Start anyway. Your life does not need consensus. It needs ownership. The day you stop giving a fuck, the day you truly stopped giving a fuck, you won't announce it. You won't explain it. You won't argue for it. You'll just move differently. You'll speak less, but mean more. You'll tolerate less, but feel lighter. You'll lose people and gain yourself. And yes, some will misunderstand you. Let them. Misunderstanding is the price of authenticity. Final word. You don't owe the world comfort at the expense of your soul. You don't owe everyone access. You don't owe endless patience. You don't owe silence. The world doesn't need another obedient, exhausted, invisible person. It needs you. Unfiltered, grounded, unapologetic. So stop giving a fuck about being liked, about being perfect, about fitting in, and start giving a fuck about living a life that actually feels like yours. Because one day, you'll realize freedom was never about becoming more. It was about letting go.